All right. And we are live. The last word with LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy, Travis, fresh on that Destiny Campfire Thursday evening kind of a situation. Lot going on. First, again, to the chat and everybody on everybody that kind of reached out, with the kind words. I really appreciate it. Obviously, lost my uncle and meant a lot to, see the realms come together, the campfires come together, the realms of the Dukes. So much love, and the service was beautiful. So thank you, thank you. All of the messages were greatly appreciated. But enough about me for now. I'll talk more about that later. But E, how are we doing, sir?
Doing good. Been playing Destiny and V Rising mostly. I'm like, where am I up to? Like mid 60s in gear level. I'm almost to the final act. I've got a few more bosses, V Bloods to go. For a game that I didn't really ever play in early access, if you haven't tried V Rising and the genre speaks to you at all, fantastic. Highly recommend it. And then I also am happy to say I have a new cushion for my booty. Got a chair.
Oh, all right.
Uh,
Where we
so
going?
Yeah.
I did a lot
Who's
of
been blessed?
I
Who's
did a
Been
lot
back?
blessed with the
of
rump of
well, I
Ebontis.
did a lot of chair shopping, and then a while ago, like it could have been 5 years ago, I got like a refurbished like ergonomic chair, and it worked well for a while. Then I went to go check. I was like, okay, it's finally dying. The little handle things, and they cannot be repaired. Of the brand that I previously had, the arm things, you can move them up and down, but as soon as they get loose, the little like kind of lever that you would pull,
Yeah.
you can't fix them. There's no bolt to undo. There's nothing. It's just I don't know how they permanently lock it in there, but anyway, so I went to go looking, was looking at like refurbished sites that I did, and then ended up just saying, I was like, hey, I'm like shopping for chairs. And I said it to you after one of the podcasts, and you're like, hey. And I was like, well, I'm looking at this brand and this brand. And one of the two brands I was looking at is the one that you were sitting in. And you were like, hey, talk to this person. So I reached out and ultra nice. Like could not
Cool.
be nicer to work with. Really good customer service so far. So the brand is Hayworth that I'm sitting in, and it is a fern. And they sent me the little I have an Xbox chair now.
No
So
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Little Fern.
Poser.
uh but the Hayworth fern is the chair, and it is it was
What's the
between
rump
like
review?
so far cushion. It's like there was a lot of steering towards like mesh seats for a while. Because if you want to sit in a DX racer, that's fine, but it's terrible chair for you. It's just like racing
Yes.
chairs are not good for you to sit in. Um, and then like some, and then the other one that I had, it was Herman Miller. It was an Aeron chair, and
Ooh,
that's like,
okay.
so I mean, that was
Yeah.
the refurbished one I got, and it lasted for a
Yeah.
while, but that had kind of the mesh, and they
Yeah.
seem to be going back towards like cushions now. And then
Mhm.
like the Herman Miller Embody, and then it's like the Logitech X Embody gaming one. That one was the other
Yep.
one, but it's so friggin' expensive. Not saying this is cheap at all.
Mhm. Oh, not at all.
But the Embody is like another like it's another like 50% more.
Mhm.
But the idea is got a cushion, forward and back movement. The funny thing is it comes with forward tilt, and it's
Right.
like 5 degrees. And I did not think I was like, I'm not really gonna ever use that. But I've actually put it there and I'm like,
Mhm.
this is not bad because one of the biggest things a lot of chairs will do, they have that front curve to them. You'll have a
Yes.
chair, but it curves in the front, so you get better like leg circulation.
Mhm.
And depending on kind of where you're positioned, the little front tilt like helps that even more. So you still have a good
Absolutely.
cushion, but it just helps with like leg circulation.
That's
But
my
the
problem. Yeah.
back is
The
just
back is lit.
extremely well,
Yeah.
it's like I have like it's hard to show the backing in a
Mhm.
video, but it's like I may actually do a full review of it at some point. But it's got like an open backing to it, which is good because I want to make sure a chair can breathe if I'm going to set in it. It's got the lumbar support. And just
Oh,
overall, like I've been sitting in it for a week and it's been just so far extremely comfortable, kind of everything I hoped for. I think the headrest is hit or miss for people.
yeah.
Can be removed. There's an aftermarket headrest I've looked at, so there are those couple of things. Um, but overall, it's a very, very comfortable chair for me. And as I sit here for many, many hours, it is worth the
Yes.
investment. Same as like sleeping in a really good, like, are you going to spend money on a
Good
bed?
mattress. Yeah.
Spend money on a mattress, spend money on a good chair. If you're sitting in something or laying in something for like a third of your life, then you may as well spend some money on it.
Well, let me
So
tell you, I know how that chair feels
Here we go.
because I know that butt that's in it, and it is not to be.
He does. Says GCX. He knows that. Yes.
It is not to be trifled with, and so to you, good chair. I wish you the best of luck. You are stronger than I could ever be, and
The reverberations,
uh,
Travis.
rip. I'm gonna pour one out to that chair tonight because I think it's not gonna have an easy life. And
Are you implying that the surface area?
I'm
You're saying I
implying
got a
that
big butt? What you calling me? Got some junk in the trunk back there?
I'm saying some people have easier lives than other, and that
Yes.
that chair's gonna be looking like it's 40 in a couple years.
Cool. Then we'll match. We'll be good. I'll match my
yeah.
chair.
I have best of luck to you.
I'm done.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Not
Some heroes merely provide lumbar
Are you
support.
implying
That's all I
that he's a
say.
thick boy? Oh, that's what is he
I
Lord
mean,
Beefy Part 2?
I wouldn't use the phrase dump truck ass, but it wouldn't be inaccurate. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, the chat is wild. They're killing me. Hey, man, it's a beefy boy. You know, you gotta accommodate and get the correct posture and things to solidify the foundation. I think he's in good hands with Hayworth. They've got him covered. Bottom half should be all fine now.
I never know where quite to go from here. So thank you, Travis, for the eulogy for my chair over here. Like
Spidey says, Trav is not worthy, and I would agree with that. I mean, touching E's butt is sort of like trying to lift Thor's hammer. You either are worthy or you're not. And if you're not worthy, man, you just got to get out of there.
Like the only one who really gets to touch my butt is my wife in the other room, and that's it. So that's the
I
only
mean,
one.
I
mean, you tried to touch my butt and it fired back. So you know,
it fired back at me. So she is the chosen one. Truly,
yes, she is the chosen
we
one.
We all must live to her example.
Yes. I am done. It said like Milner. I'm done right now.
Anyway, very comfortable chair.
Nice.
So far. So there are a couple. They have quite a few different options. You can kind of build your own. The backing on this one is like the digital knit. It's kind of got a little bit of depth to the fabric, so it kind of gives a little more airspace and everything. But overall, it's just been extremely comfortable, and I'm just very happy that. So hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad. I will say that out loud. They did provide the chair for free. If you do want a link to be able to buy the chair, I do have one of those. But it is kind of one of those things, whether it's Hayworth Fern, whether it's something else, do research on a chair, see what you're going for. I watched plenty of videos out there, and this one kind of kept rising to the top with a couple others. See what you're looking for the chair for. See if it's got certain things like, is it wide enough? Do you like to sit cross-legged? Can the arms move a certain way? All of those things. Like, these are 4-way arms, and they're very movable. Some people are like, hey, when I grab the arm, but it moves. Or every chair is going to have its tweaks. Like, if nobody can design like the perfect chair, but everything I read, this one kept being near the top, if not the top, depending on the reviews. And after sitting in it for about a week so far, honestly, very minimal that I would change about the chair. And honestly, all the features on it work very well. And I'm happy to finally not be totally healthy, but I'm back to like walking the dogs, doing stuff around the house. I'm like 90%. Like I haven't. Yeah, I had like the flu.
Had the ladder thing.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Dub the chair, Fern, Guardian of Ease, Badunkadunk. Thank you, 3 Geeks,
honestly,
with a $10 super chat.
I must say, I think the Badonkadonk is guarding the chair, to be honest. If I had to choose one, which is guarding the other.
Like which one is the Guardian? That is the Badonk.
That's like saying Dwayne the Rock Johnson's bodyguard, you know? It's like who's guarding who?
Who's guarding who? Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, happy to be a little healthier. And I also went to see, my wife and I did a date night last night, and we saw Fall Guy. Great movie, absolutely like fun movie. Please, like, if it looks fun to you at all, it absolutely is. It's a great time. That's a fun movie to go see.
Nice.
So that's what I've been up to, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and playing Destiny, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to playing Destiny. Speaking of which, if it looks like during this episode I'm not paying attention, it's not that at all. It's that I have 122,000 legendary shards, and I'm currently playing Destiny, buying Lunalata, the combat bow that the gunsmith sells, 4 legendary shards, and then turning those legendary shards into enhancement cores.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to be doing that this whole show
You're in the stock
because
exchange.
I got to get these legendary shards out of my inventory, and I don't like grinding enhancement cores. So here we
Smart.
go. Here we
There you
go,
go.
guys.
There you
That's what I'm
go.
going to be doing while I'm idle right here during this
I ain't
episode.
mad at it.
So,
I am not mad at it. That
yeah,
is
I have been playing a
efficiency.
little bit of Destiny, tried out the new maps, did some private matches with some of my homies.
I got questions. I still ain't
So I have
done.
thoughts on those.
Mhm.
And I've not done 0 hour yet. What else did I do? I did something else that everybody was talking about.
You
What did I do?
try Pantheon yet?
No. Oh yeah, yes, I did Pantheon. I did Pantheon
You do all
last
of
week
them?
right after the show.
Mm.
But you
No,
did the
no,
first
no.
two.
Yeah,
first one?
that one.
Yeah, okay.
That one. Yeah.
Cool.
It takes a long time.
Yeah,
by the
it's a
way.
commitment. It's a commitment.
That's my biggest problem with it, and I didn't even do the full version, so it takes a long time, dude.
We'll get to that discussion.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll get to
yeah.
that discussion. What am I doing? I'm reviewing Disney Dreamlight Valley. I played
Nice.
120 hours of Fallout 76. Put my review
Mm.
live, so that is live. You can read that if you want to know how Fallout 76 feels in 2024, 6 years after its release. This is our third review of that game at IGN.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And then yeah, I think my next review might be Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm not sure
Oh,
yet.
I covered that one. Yeah.
I'm not sure if
Okay.
I'm getting that one to review, but I heard review codes are coming out pretty soon, and I'm trying to get Disney Dreamlight done pretty quick here. So yeah, got some stuff that I'm working on. Oh, also this week I could finally talk about a preview, an exclusive preview that I did for GDC, but because of game development issues, I don't get to talk about it until this week.
Okay.
But the game is Greedfall 2, The Dying
Mhm.
World, which is made by Spiders Studio that really enjoys BioWare games and makes a lot of their games inspired by BioWare games. And if you played Greedfall 1, it is a weird game that's like a colonial America except magic and different factions, and it's a really cool game. My fiance actually just got done playing it herself. And the second one is coming later this year to early
Mhm.
access. So IGN's got an exclusive preview on the game, a first look at it, which I did, and you can read it or watch it on
Nice.
YouTube. And yeah, that's what I'm working on. But I am
Nice,
playing
nice.
Destiny, including right now.
Nice, man. It's efficient. Love to hear it.
Farm. Got a farm,
Hey,
baby.
he's
You
honest
gotta
with you. What are you doing? I'm doing a podcast and playing Destiny. I'm doing both.
I respect
look.
it.
All I'm doing is buying and dismantling. It takes very minimal effort, but if it looks like I'm looking above your line of sight, it's because I got a monitor right here I'm keeping an eye on.
Doing both.
So love you guys, but you know what? Someone's got to hold X sometime. I'm a busy guy. This is my only chance to do it.
I feel you got no macro. We got to do this thing. We got to do this thing.
Ebontis, have you thought about doing a stream where you just buy this bow and dismantle it?
I didn't know that specifically did that because I didn't think most of those would break
Got
down
it.
into enhancement cores.
Mhm.
They all break down. It's 1 guaranteed, 2 is a possibility. So pretty good way to get rid of your legendary shards if you need to.
Nice.
Cog, what have you been doing outside of taking care of the family?
Yeah, this week obviously a little less gaming, but last week, shout out to these good friends at New York devs, man. HF Studios, they have a top-down action roguelite called Let Him Cook.
Oh.
And it's this, so it's like Brotato and Vampire Survivors had a baby, and it's like a little chef. You're like this executive chef, and then you have like all these different food types. So you got like a Subway submachine gun. You've got like wine. You got all these things, and it's like bullet hell. All these enemies come at you. Then you could get little assistance, right? So the cool thing about it is that there's actually a lot of detail. It's actually also like Cuphead had a baby, like that music,
Oh,
that
that's cool.
yeah, that art style, that music.
Old-timey music?
Yeah, bro, for their first game, I was like, this is really impressive. Like, it's based on Unity, and we had them on ILP last week, and we debuted the trailer. I think it's Steam demo's out now for free, and I think they release it like the 18th. Yeah, the 18th of June. But I was pleasantly impressed because usually when someone sends me their first game, I'm like, all right, I keep my expectations low. I'm not gonna go. No, I'm like, bro, this is a level of polish and a lot of depth to the roguelike that I really like. So yeah, salute to them. As far as everything else, I've been still obviously playing a little Destiny. I did last week's shout out to Citizen, I did last week's Pantheon. So that was done. And then we got obviously Oryx and stuff, which was cool. But this week I haven't tried. I saw I saw you on, bro. I ain't go front. I was hating. I saw the Rhulk emblem. I was jelly. I was like, damn, he did it already. That's a flex. When you see that, Josh, I was like, oh man. So yeah, I got to get in there. And in the meantime, I just been grinding Warlord's Ruin, which surprisingly I have not done a lot
Oh,
because
you trying to
I
get the
didn't.
bow?
Yeah,
You're trying
I
to
didn't
get the
know,
little
bro.
crossbow. Yeah.
Bro, I can't get indebted kindness to save my life.
Oh, the
I
little
finally, yeah, I finally got the sign on for the first time. It's a whole different archetype. This thing hits like a truck. It's like a rocket launcher as a sidearm.
mini rocket.
Yeah, I'm like, this thing is crazy. So the roll I got is garbage, just like surrounded in something
I don't
else.
even know what
and-
the good roll is. I have like 2. I'm not sure if I have a good one even
Bro,
saved.
that gun is like almost like my new primary.
N-
The roll is terrible and the gun is good. So imagine when I get a volt shot and all that other stuff. So yeah, I'm close to that, and I'm also close to finishing the quest where you got to get the blighted things. What does that lead to? Where in Warlord's Ruin Dungeon? It's like step 6 of 8. Get these blighted tinctures. Get this. Some drop from boss encounters. Some drop from just regular enemy fights. And all I know is I'm close to finishing that. But yeah, shout out to Sin, shout out to everybody that was helping me on that. And a random exotic. Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. So it's not giving me the actual bow. Okay. But anyway, I like this new archetype of sidearm. It's really dope. And I'm really excited to get in there with Pantheon. I've heard things, about that Rhulk encounter. That sounds very, very interesting. And obviously the minus. So I got questions for you.
It's like, do we want to talk about Pantheon? That kind
Let's
of
just get it.
since we've
Yeah, 'cause
all
you-
kind of talked
you've
a
done
decent
it.
amount of it now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had the first week, so that was see if I can remember. There's like Golgoroth, then you go to Caretaker, then you
Oryx.
go to Explicator, and then you ended on Atrax for the first one.
Yes.
That wasn't too bad for week 1. I felt like level wasn't too bad, just kind of refreshing you on mechanics. You saw where a couple. I will say it's funny. Basically, any place where they
Did I
put
miss that version of it? You can't go back and play the
no,
other
you can
version?
go back
Yeah,
and pick.
you can go back
do,
and play the
yeah, you
original.
can go back and pick, but there are
Mhm.
like each different one. It is just funny, no matter wherever the tormentors are put in, outside of Rhulk. Previously, most tormentors are basically ignored.
Yes.
The groups that I've been with so far, they're just like, don't mess with them. Don't
even
try not to even touch them, like if possible. So, second week is the same thing, but then we added Oryx on top.
right.
So that was the addition of knights that don't stop spawning, the bombs.
Yeah,
I will tell you, if the bombs come out, we wiped. We beat the one with the 2 Oryx shades in the bubble.
Yeah.
That's when we beat it. But the bombs that like never stop until you actually shoot. So-
It's very difficult to avoid those.
You have to kill everything while they're going off. And it's just, I mean, it caught us off guard first. And if we knew, like, we had to plan for it and stuff, but the fact that you're always trying to be moving and then you
Yeah.
have to shoot stuff, unless you have like mountaintop or something that you
Yeah.
can kind of like tag them on the fly, I was not set up for that. So we wiped a couple of times. Then when we finally got the shade, knocked it out. Like that
Yep.
wasn't bad. Whisper of the Worm, godsend on that. We
Nice.
did this week. It was Arc and Stasis, which is not
Right.
really great for the mods.
Right.
Have a funny story when we get to Rhulk, but we'll get there. So arc rockets for some. Whisper still worked better on Oryx. Yeah.
So
and
you still stuck
then-
with the solar burn despite
Stuck with
or-
just because the ammo, just ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
ding,
It still
ding,
worked.
ding, ding. Okay.
Atrax is still everybody seems to be doing
Or Titan
Parasite?
Smash. Oh, Parasite. Okay.
Parasite and
Okay.
Parasite on one and then Titan Smash on the
I ain't
other
gonna
side.
front. Titans is OP in that encounter.
Titans
bro.
work, but also Parasite, like if you just make sure you get your 20 stack, everybody just dumps Parasite on the first hit, boom, and it just clears that. Like Atrax is, of the groups I've run it with, Atrax is
The
not
easiest.
an issue. Yeah, not an
like-
issue. Like
Mhm.
I'm like other people are doing the mechanics because honestly I forgot how some of that stuff goes, but I'm just clearing ads, getting my Parasite buff, tell me where to
Yep.
go, doing damage.
Yep.
Atrax is not the issue. Honestly, The Explicator, the planets,
Yes. Hardest
probably the
one.
hardest one for DPS up
Agreed.
until Rhulk. Because Caretaker, like I usually end up being the runner, which I still do, which is funny. Even I was like, I'm a little rusty in there. Like, well, have you done it before? I'm like, yeah, okay, we're doing it. So did that one with the planets or
Mhm.
with the running for the symbols and everything. And then Caretaker comes out, and Caretaker's all about do a lot, not quite too much.
Yep.
And then it's like on the third plate, then you can kind of dump the damage to try and push
Mhm.
him. And then if you can two-phase him. And that's the thing with the platinum scores is everyone is trying to two-phase and not mess
Two-phase.
with the timer and make sure you get all the points possible. I think we're like good on points, but it's like as you go through each encounter. But this week we got Rhulk.
Before you get to Rhulk,
Okay.
what are you using? Because I got to improve on my Caretaker DPS. I feel like I'm hurting the team. Like, what are you
I
using
honestly was
outside of the
probably dragging
burn?
our team down, but
Because
uh
everybody's like grenade launchers, and then like I don't know. I'm always like messing it up. Like people get in front of my thing, or I blow myself up. I
okay,
always
I'm gonna say
yeah
this to everybody.
yes.
And everybody probably messes it up at some point. But
Hmm.
when you get to DPS, don't move. Everybody line
Yeah,
up your
for
rockets,
real.
line up your shot. If you're in the front, crouch and get out of the way. Get to a spot and stop. Outside of
Yeah.
Rhulk, which is why I love the encounter because you have to move. Everything else, sit or like stand still or crouch. Do not move. Then when you're gonna go touch
Yeah.
another plate and get your damage on. So yeah,
Mhm.
find your little position. And sometimes on Caretaker, if he's on a certain platform and there's like a thing in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you should not. Heavy GL, as long as you don't kill yourself, for him is probably good.
Okay.
I ended up digging through
Yeah, what you
Vault, and
using
I found for Arc,
yeah.
I had a spike grenade auto loading cascade point or
Ooh.
with the
Wendigo.
Wendigo. I had
Yes.
one of those. Don't even know when I got that thing, but I was like, I actually had something good enough.
Mhm.
Now, funny story. So
Let's get it.
we got to Rhulk and we're
Alright.
working on Rhulk. So we're getting the
Mhm.
mechanics down. I was like, okay, it's been a minute. I ran that a lot before, so it's like I just needed a refresher. It's like, okay, so I was the splitter, had it, okay, take it off, have it split. Okay, next
Mhm.
person, shoot it back, and I was the one holding the buff. I
Holding the
was
buff.
always
Yep.
that guy. Um, go through the damage phases, and we're working on it. And then it's like it's arc. So first thing we tried was Thunderlord.
Mhm.
Now, somebody else had heard that, like, Thunderlord, if you can have div on, you could probably two-phase it if you can kind of keep your
Mm.
damage on. But we were struggling
Mhm.
with that.
Okay.
Um, one person, while we were struggling with that, realized their Thunderlord was at 1600. It
Oh,
really wasn't cooking very much.
yeah, that's not gonna cook.
So if everybody is alive and everybody has a Thunderlord that's at proper level, it may be a tight option. And then you might have to,
Mm.
like, pop supers for
Extra.
final stand kind of thing, I would
Yeah.
imagine. Maybe. And 100,000 legendary shards. Travis is totally fine with us talking, by the way.
Travis
He's
is
just sitting
working.
there.
He's good.
He's cooking.
I'm listening. I'm
Yeah.
listening. Yeah.
So we've tried Thunderlord, didn't really feel it. Okay. We're like, all right, get your arc rockets out. So you got somebody running div, you got 5 arc rockets. We're working on
Okay.
it. Now the thing with Rhulk is there's 2 Rhulks now. There's a
Yes.
shade of Rhulk that is wandering around. Now there's 2 smug jerks walking around, hands behind their back, giving you the kicks. Now the shade will not sprint. The shade only walks.
Okay, so he
So
casual with it.
he's
Casual with the
casually
kicks.
slow guy. But depending on if you're like jumping away from the one guy or the other,
Mm.
sometimes he will just catch you out of position and just give you the boot. So I do recommend on that one.
What you
I'm
doing?
trying to remember. A melee resistance is good to kind of survive the kick.
Okay.
So if you do get kicked, it's not going to just totally get you.
Mhm.
And then I'm trying to remember what the beam damage is, and I honestly forget since it's so weird.
Mhm.
But if anything's kind of giving you issues in there, whether it's a void or anything else, that wasn't too bad. Just the melee damage for the kick does help a little bit if you go for like resistance mods there. Um,
Mhm.
so rockets we tried, didn't really love that one either. Then
Really?
yeah, and again, it could have been just unoptimal. I was running a slow one, but we just altogether weren't really doing that great, it felt like.
Okay. Okay.
Um, finally switched over to grenade launchers
Mhm.
paired with like a sniper rifle kind of for backup,
For backup, yeah.
and then div. So I busted out what was I using for so I had my supremacy for a sniper.
Nice.
Uh with all of the like rating and stuff going on, I actually got supremacy unlocked for crafting.
The
So I
crafting,
didn't have it
yeah.
before, so I got that
Right.
one done. Um, and I pulled out a couple of I think it was like one of the deep sight harmonizers from like last season, so I got a little
Yep.
used for one of those.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then I had an auto-loading Cascade Point Wendigo. Well, if you sit there... Oh, no. Okay, so sorry. Wendigo was the legendary. Didn't go Supremacy. Cloud Strike.
Wow.
Cloud Strike for a DPS.
Get out of here.
Nuh-uh, not at all. So primary just to
Really?
take care of the basic guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, on Cloud Strike, when you get it, rapidly landing precision hits. Div, Cage, makes the precision hits easy.
Big. Okay.
Gives you triple tap, so you have a lot more ammo to shoot, and then you've also got the storm coming down, rapid precision hits, so you're going, dun, dun, and it's just about as fast as I can fire it. And then as soon as I switch over, Cascade points up for my grenade launcher, and it's like, doot, 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 and then I switch back and forth between those two. And that's finally when my DPS came up. Because I will say, like, with the group I was in, I was struggling on DPS. I was definitely not doing as well as I was doing bad on... I was doing bad.
You know what I like is the failure track, like with the failed attempts.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then it's that uncomfortable
wipe for DPS. I'm like, it's me.
Everyone looks at the numbers.
The worst.
And the worst feeling is when I know I'm part of that low number group, and they like, bro, what are you using?
Oh yeah, when they're checking your inventory, checking your.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you was gonna say something?
I was gonna say the worst silence is not when people are checking DPS. It's when like you screwed up part of the ritual, and everybody had to wipe.
Yep.
And you admitted it was your fault. Like you're like, oh, it's my fault, man. It's my fault. And then there's like that long black screen while it's reloading.
Yeah.
And if nobody's talking during that, and you just
you already know it's problems.
Like, oh.
Oh no, I had I mean, there were points on Explicator. Yeah.
And then I just slip in an extra. Sorry again, guys. Sorry about that.
I've done that.
No, it was like Explicator.
That was me, y'all. That was me.
Explicator, I feel like I've got occasional issues on if I'm like running symbols. Now I will say, like, there was one point. It's so funny. Everybody wants to play the blame game. It's just part of how rating goes. Everybody's going to do a little bit. But at one point there, it was actually Cactus was like, "Can you guys clear some ads?"
Oh,
and I'm on ad clear, and I'm sitting there at the end screen. I'm on the end screen, and I'm just sitting there like, I've got 103 ads cleared versus everybody else. And again, Cactus, I was like, you just got to blame somebody. He's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to blame me. So of course.
Cactus, Citizen's that for me, right? I go with Citizen check me one time, but he's like, bro, these ads. And I'm like, I'm doing the best I can. Look at my ad score.
I'm like, no, I'm killing everything.
Put me on the Tuscany board to help me with Explicator and the main part to clear out some stuff.
No, honestly,
but prior to that, he was going around with the planets, and he as a hunter, he's fighting for his life. So it's funny when you get the ad call out, when the ad clear dudes they are frustrated with.
I was wiping out it's just one of those moments where like they jump off and they spawn at the same time. Yes. I'm like, I'm clearing them because I had tarnished metal with volt shot and rapid hit. So I'm just like lightning chaining everything on either side. I'm like, they're dead about as fast as I can find them. You just had bad timing, but I'm like, get off my ass. I'm like, I'm clearing ads.
Bro, I'm like, yo, they're spawning them. I'm sorry, get Trav. At a rate that's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of the ad people who take ad clear, though, they just assume that means they don't have to do anything in a raid. You guys ever know that? Like, I'm talking about like when you're playing with like a random team, it's like, oh, I'm at ad clear, so I don't have to do anything. And I used to do this thing where like I would wait until we wiped when I knew that somebody who was on ad clear just was not doing their job. Yeah. And I would wait until we wiped, and then right before it showed the stat screen, I'd be like, hey Cog, what role are you again? What are you doing? And he'd be like, and then I wait for him, and then he'd go ad clear, and then it would pop up and be like 8 kills. And I'd be like, I was just like, hey, what's your role again?
What you doing?
I'm on ad clear, and then it just shows 8 kills, and I'd be like, oh, 8 kills, yeah, got it, totally, you're on ad clear. For sure.
I am impressed with myself. I have to admit, the only time I'm really relegated to that is planets. I admit, planets, Explicator, I'm just not that guy in that encounter, right? Now, if you want Gorgoroth, I got you. I'm unstable light. We moving, help out in the gaze, cool. Oryx, boom. I'm on the plate. I'm the ghost guy. I'm the ghost. Where I'm going, R1 to L1. Okay, I'm your guy, right? But it's that encounter planet, and do not ask me to jump in that room and caretaker. Do not ask me to go in there in that dark room.
I've just run that too many times. I got used to it. It was I think it was me and can't remember if it was me and Nomad or me and TV who were
Mhm.
symbol running, and we just and that's where it was that raid where we came up with like Green Floyd, and we had just some fun call outs and stuff like that. There were some fun call outs in there.
Yeah.
Running back through that, I kind of remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to hold the caretaker's like pull
So-
his.
So your favorite is going inside, getting the symbols and that. So let me
Just
ask
nobody
both of y'all.
wants to do that, so
I
I
love
end
that
up
part.
doing
Doing
it,
it.
and I've done it
That's
enough.
over.
I'm comfortable.
Got you.
The mechanics rolls are the best parts, I think. Because if I wanted to just
I don't
shoot
want to
things,
be
I would just
bored.
Right.
I would
No, I
play,
get that.
I'll
strike
pull
or
gaze.
whatever.
I used to. Well, in D1, I solo pulled gaze.
Wow.
Well, you could do it with like a heavy machine gun. So I'd be like,
Right.
You've always been pulling gaze. That's one of your main skills.
hey.
Hey.
Hey. Continue.
Anyway, gaze.
Ebontis pulls, dude. He pulls.
He pulls, man. He pulls.
Is that supposed to make it sound less gay? Just
No, not
No.
really. That was probably worse. That was probably worse. Yeah.
Gay.
Gaze.
Y'all messy.
Like Chris Tucker right now.
Do bad Z's on that. That was good.
But yeah, I was like heavy machine gun. I used to,
Mhm.
and I would be like, I've got it. Go down, and because you would only have to do like one. You would only have to do like one bubble until they like change the strats up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked, so I could do that. So I'm used to pulling gaze. It's always just the trade. I know you can't say it now.
I'm sorry. I'm immature.
Pulling Golgoroth's focus.
Golgoroth.
How's that? There you go.
You guys said a full sentence.
No.
That was funny. Continue.
That guy always getting the laughs out of chat here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm immature. I fully blame myself.
3 geeks. I got that reference. Thanks. So I was like, but I'm kind of with Travis. If I can be part of the mechanics, I would rather be, because it makes a lot of it more fun generally.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, I think
yeah.
Nezarec, I
you
was
had
the
to do.
one running the sides.
Mhm.
Like I was one of the two
Yep.
kind of trading the symbols and stuff.
I got you.
It's just more fun because I've jumped in and been relegated to here, shoot stuff, and I'm just like, yep, I'm here, I'm getting my loot. I'd rather be involved.
Got you. So for Rhulk, what do you prefer to do? Like you like to hold on to the what you call it?
I've done
the
all of
resonance
it.
thing?
Like when we
Yeah.
used to run it like more on a more weekly basis, I've probably done most of it. I mean, whether
Right.
it's the symbols or dunking or splitting or calling out, I think there's a decent amount of like everybody's kind of got to have a little bit of a role in that.
Yes.
There's not much downtime. Now, when you get up to Rhulk's platform, I've done the symbols, and then this time I wasn't running symbols because they kind of already had somebody, but
Yeah.
So when it comes to our world of DPS, I had a
Yes,
bit of a
yes.
goof because it's arc. So I'm like, okay, I'll
Mhm.
grab an arc grenade launcher. We switched
Mhm.
over, and I was like, man, why is my DPS just absolute trash? I grabbed Hullabaloo, which is a waveframe grenade launcher, and I didn't realize it at the time. So I'm hitting him. I'm like, I'm only hitting him for like 12K. What is going on?
What CAC is that?
Oh no! And then I was like, "What are you running?" I'm like, arc grenade launcher. I got Hullabaloo. They're like, Hullabaloo's waveframe. I'm like, oh my god, you're right. I'm sorry.
No. So you're shooting the floor?
No, I was
With this
shooting
thing?
him, and I was probably bouncing it off of him.
That's hilarious.
The funny thing is, we were getting
Yeah.
like kind of pretty efficient at that point. That we almost did it with my screw up. So finally, when I switched 2 attempts, and we were done. So like I had basically practiced us up for everybody else to be really efficient. So finally, when I brought real DPS, it was over, which was good because honestly, kind of ironed out the kinks. But yeah, Cactus is over there like,
Yep.
what are you running? Sorry, wrong
That's
thing.
hilarious. That is funny. Hullabaloo. That just sounds wild to me.
No, I
Just
was
ripping it
just
up.
like bouncing it off. I was like, my weapon's not working. Thanks, Sen. That was funny. But I will
Yeah, I
say
had no
what
issues-
next
sorry,
week.
I'll continue.
So next
Mhm.
week we're gonna get Nezarec and Riven. I don't know if
Together.
yeah, I think you get them both because
Contest mode?
it's -20. I don't know if it's quite.
That's gonna be
It's
fun.
really, really close to contest. I think the hard parts are going to be Explicator for DPS,
Oh, hell yeah.
Nezarec for DPS.
Mm-hmm.
Not Nezarec,
Nah,
sorry,
Nezarec
Rhulk.
will be
I
fun.
think it was like Rhulk.
Yeah.
Nezarec probably will be more staying alive. I think when it
Staying
comes
alive.
to contest.
Yeah,
Stay
that one's
alive.
gonna be
And
hard,
then
yeah.
Yeah.
Riven, if it's real, I think is probably what throws everybody off.
That's going to be the question.
All I can
Will they
say is,
force
if
us?
we do start raiding next week, can it not be at 9 o'clock my time? Because then we went to like 1:30 in the morning. I was with the group. I was gonna finish it, so it was done on Tuesday, which worked because then I had my date night yesterday. But it was more the idea that I was like, can I not start at 9? I would much rather start early. It worked. I got to play 0 hour, which that's in the
Yeah, how
game
was it?
now too.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to
Um,
get in there yet.
so I probably run it like 4 or 5 times now because I made a guide
Mhm.
on it. I got
Nice.
my solo normal down to like 30 minutes, and then I saw like Mano ran that thing 1,000 times. He knows it like the back of his hand. I know SO, they've already done solo legend, but I mean, solo
Wow.
legend is going to be a because even on normal right now for me, and I gotta obviously be a little more optimal when it comes to because the one major change they made is on
Mhm.
0 hour, he would kind of be up at the front of the room and he had
Yes.
the void shanks. And then over here he'd have the arc. In
Yeah.
the back of the room he had the solar, and then over here at the
Yeah.
arc, and then he'd come up. Well, now you do damage to him when he gets down to about a fifth of his health left, somewhere in that like fifth to sixth, somewhere in that low. He bails, the 2 tanks show up, have to kill
Mhm.
the tanks now.
Mm.
When the tanks are down, he comes back in a giant brig. Full health again.
Wow.
So I got to where I did it in about 30 minutes out of 40 minutes,
Mhm.
which is like plenty of time for normal to be done with.
Mm.
But man, legend
Oof.
difficulty solo, I'm gonna have to
That's rough.
go look up a guide and figure out what works for me because
Mm.
Mountaintop did help. I had an auto-loading Mountaintop that I've got, so it was able to just kinda chunk damage the brig.
Yeah.
There's no crit on a brig, so, I mean, if you're
There's
gonna
none, yeah.
bring Whisper for damage or Sniper for there's not a great way to just take a chunk
Yeah.
out of that guy.
You're absolutely right.
I had Pyrogale to put
Mhm.
a decent amount of super into him,
Mhm.
but also when the brig spawns, the servitor spawns. So the servitor might be shielding him, so then you gotta stay in the back, but you can't stand still because the brig is now, like, raining down fire on you
Raining
the
down
whole
fire. Oh
time.
gosh.
So it
Yeah, they say a
is
dragon's breath is goat in there.
I was
Uh-oh.
wondering, honestly, I haven't tried Dragon's Breath, but
Mm.
that might really be the way to go, kinda keeps me in my
Okay.
solar build as well.
Yeah, might go solo. All right.
And if you don't forget about,
Which one?
the scout rifle that you have, like, infinite ammo on, solar one.
All of them?
Oh, I know Polaris. Polaris
Polaris,
Lance.
yeah, don't forget about that, especially as
Mhm.
just kind of like a backup option if you're low on ammo.
Yeah. Yeah, because that
So
room
it's
heavy gets a little stingy in there.
yep. Yeah, but you have
Mhm.
plenty of special, that's why Mountaintop is a good thing to bring with you because it's able
Mhm.
to so I have an auto-loading Vorpal Mountaintop. It's probably not the best,
Nice.
but it's solid.
Yeah, solid.
I still don't have my
Nice.
recluse I want. Still don't.
You try to get the destabilizing
Yeah,
repulsor.
destabilizing repulsor. Yeah, still have not.
Mhm.
I've had that thing focused for the whole time, and I still have not got one of those. I don't care about
That's
the other
great.
2 columns, but
Yeah. Still some unlucky combinations for me as well.
so yeah, played a lot of Destiny in the last
Nice.
48 hours.
Nice. Nice. That's
What
what's
about
up.
you guys? How's your Pantheon experience been? Like when you knocked it out, how'd that go?
Mhm.
How do you guys like the changes? Do you feel they're just like throwing
Mhm.
a tormentor in and saying, "Here you go, have fun"? Like, where are you guys at on
Yeah.
everything so far?
Yeah.
I'll let you try. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought some of the changes were cool. Some were just like you have power creep, so here's some random stuff to fight. Um, I think it's a cool mode. I think it's
Mhm.
better than Gambit, so
Yes.
probably has more place being one of the quote pillars of Destiny than
Mm.
Gambit. But I know it's going away
I know.
I
when the
hate
final
that.
creep
That's
comes
I
out.
such
hate
a
that.
shame.
Such a
I think
shame.
it's smart. I think it's smart. You don't want to split focus and have people playing old content, but
Mhm.
it'll obviously be back, right? It's
Mhm.
Yeah, this is too popular.
like Onslaught. It's gonna come back in what form, or if they'll switch up the the order or which encounters are included or whatever, what remains to be seen. But I think it's cool as a 1.0. I think the way scoring works is kind of stupid.
Mm.
uh, where it's by encounter. That's kind of
Yeah.
surprising to me. You'd think it would be like by the entire run, right? But instead you can kind of take your time, and as long as you get each encounter done, it counts. I think that's kind of weird.
You would
But
want you're almost asking for like one big run of score
yeah, that's what I thought
as
it was
Mm.
opposed to
gonna be. It's kind
multiple
of
attempts
because
on each boss kind of thing.
yeah, because when you do a boss rush, it's treated as like one one marathon run,
Yeah.
and it kind of feels weird as like smaller sprints where you can work on it and finesse it a little bit. Maybe that's more charitable to the players, but it does feel less like a true boss rush contest mode to me. So
I mean, that would definitely be more of a challenge to get that like high score, depending on if you had multiple
yeah,
runs, you could get through a couple of bosses. But the way like raid encounters go, and also you gotta remember because there's certain times where we're going through and it's just Rhulk hangs out in midair, it goes back to the platform. There's enough random glitches sometimes in the world of like Destiny encounters where like if you're gonna go for a run through a Nightfall Strike and you gotta, go through that once, it's different if you're talking about, a full hour of raid mechanics all working correctly and nothing bugging out or breaking. That would
Mhm.
kind of be my one argument to where sometimes the game is gonna work against you, and that would kind of suck to lose like 2/3 of a full run through and have your score be screwed up. That's kind of the only thing I would probably go. But I mean, I get what you're going
definitely,
for. I
Yeah.
get what you're going
definitely.
for.
I think that's fair. Um, yeah, it's still it would be that's sort of more of an unfortunate like I wish Destiny worked better problem.
Yeah.
But I would say philosophically it's kind of weird, or at least do both, right? If you want to have rank on individual encounters and then a rank overall, I think that makes sense. But yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I was kind of like, oh, I wonder why they made that choice.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been a pleasant surprise. I thought that it's interesting the encounters they picked. I thought that was very interesting. I wanted to know like what went behind the choices on certain ones. But I actually like it. I'm still mad at them at at Explicator because I hate that encounter with all my life. It's such a DPS check. But
It is.
as far
It
as
is.
Golgoroth, yeah, they obviously I do like the two unstable light mechanic. It just adds a little frenetic nature to it. All right, who's got it? Get out, run to the left, run to the right. I don't like the glitching of Golgoroth though.
No,
Him
yeah, they said
turning
that in chat,
around,
and just trying to get
bruh.
him turned. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
people aren't hiding or not taking the gaze or however much. It's just, yeah, Golgoroth is very unreliable to try and get
yeah,
him to do relatively what you want to do. And then
yeah.
I feel like there were more of the axiom darts coming at you. If you were
Yes.
holding his focus, it felt like more. And then what kept killing us was the
Hmm.
Minotaurs up top.
Yeah.
So the Minotaurs that spawned, they were not there before. And so the
Hmm.
Minotaurs that are trying to kill the people that are holding his focus, you barely
Hmm.
have enough time to try and take out the
Yeah.
axiom darts as they're looking at you. And then you got multiple Minotaurs you got to take out and then
Hmm.
get to your position to try and get the
Yep.
focus again. It's a lot. And then as questionable as that whole arena is, sometimes it's just a little much. I'm glad it's first so you can kind of get through it, but
Hmm.
it is a bit annoying. Damage
Yeah.
doesn't ever seem to be too much of an issue, but just the staying alive up top is
Hmm.
rough.
Yeah. What I will say is I do like the what I consider the bonus DPS mechanics where it's like, okay, use your class item, everybody to get a little
Possibility, yeah.
10% class ability, excuse me, to use, that. Or like, hey, 1 week it was like almost like a bait and switch with a primary. Shoot
Yeah,
the primary and then you get a little 30. So they're doing things to try to offset, a lot of the power stuff as well as, all these little new factors that they put in each encounter. So yeah, so far so good. I want to see how it's gonna go this week. I gotta definitely get up in there and I got to see next week how crazy that's going to be with both Nezarek and Riven at that power level. It should be crazy. But it's super rewarding. That's the thing I like the most.
yeah, you're getting
Like
a
you beat
lot of
this
Sure, yeah.
drops, a
game,
lot of red bars, red
oh,
borders.
the spoils, the red borders, the adepts, like it
I
really
got Touch of Malice and Isa tomorrow.
bro, oh, you got it done.
Man,
Yes,
Got
nice.
both.
screw
For
you.
all the
Screw
unlucky.
you.
He said, "Screw you." He just went to Walmart and said, "Thank you." That's
The only
wild.
thing I will say is like the fact that you have to go through these gauntlets of bosses and they're getting more difficult each time.
Yeah.
If you are getting exotic at the end, I feel like you are actually earning it. So as you go
Hmm.
through a couple of these, the first one was easier.
Yeah.
But as you get like higher and higher difficulty, I feel like you're definitely earning these exotic
Uh,
drops.
Yeah, they're putting us through some stuff, man. They're putting us through some stuff. But yeah, that's my early impressions. I likes it.
Yeah. It's a fun
Mhm.
way to do it because a lot of the raids only have, you don't have bosses in every encounter. So then
Right.
if you're truly some people are always asking for Destiny raids to have more bosses. This is just all your bosses all smashed together. So it is kind of the want of a lot of the people for raid encounters, just a lot of boss fights.
Mhm.
So I don't want to go through when it comes to Destiny articles this week. We got a big tuning preview for the final shape. And then we also got the TWID that had some previews for exotics. We'll get to those in a little bit. But I don't want to go through every single number for the TWID. It's boring. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
We'll do it
lot.
all day.
If you want to go watch
Exactly.
any of the videos that talk about it, there's plenty of people who do. It is
Mhm.
funny to see the Twitch directory right now because it does seem that everybody went out to Bungie to go see something.
Wonder where they are. What are they
Yeah,
doing?
there's got to be some, because you can tell, like on like not Tuesday but like Wednesday, the Twitch directory that is normally online at reset
Mhm.
time that would do, none of them are there. I'm like, huh, wonder where
Hmm.
all of you went at the same exact time. That's so strange. I can't
So
quite imagine
strange.
that people went somewhere. And
Can't
it's probably one
imagine
of
what
those where they get to play the final shape mission and here's the first preview, blah 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 blah
Mhm.
blah. We'll get to see
Oh,
it. I will say I don't know what they're gonna get to see because that does definitely seem like what's going on, but it's also one of those to where it's weird that they will show a campaign mission when we only get so many of them in the first place.
Mhm.
You may as well see them fresh when you play through the game anyway. But everybody wants to see new
Mhm.
stuff, so they will. What were you gonna say,
what?
Travis? I feel like you had a thought.
Oh no, I was just lamenting the Bungie stuff.
Yeah,
I can't.
we won't cover why. I know.
Yeah.
Um, did you look through
By
a
the
lot of the
way,
sandbox cog? Oh, sorry. What, Travis?
they took the bow away right in front of me.
Has it been patched while you're
Really?
sitting there doing it?
Yeah,
Really?
They patched it right in
yeah.
front of you because it's not supposed
They
to
put
drop like
now
that.
now he sells Whispering Slab.
So
So
what was the
now
hustle?
No, he was
It was
buying something for legendary shards. You don't normally break down a basic weapon and you
Right.
don't get enhancement cores for it. That is not supposed to happen that way. So it's
Ah.
one of those weird things that came through the shop that was working.
So everybody was in there hustling. I ain't mad at you.
Why
Hey,
do
you
I
got
play
yours
this
off.
game? Really? Why do I play it? What is the point of this?
Hey, you got like a good chunk of your shards. Yeah, Bungie's watching. And
Oh,
then
Bungie!
see, why'd you have to say
They
it?
did they
Bungie's
did this to
watching.
see me rage in real time. God, dude, they literally just swapped it out right in front of me.
I didn't even realize that was a thing. So you was getting them enhancement cores off
Yeah.
that.
Mm,
That's
kick
crazy.
me in
I
the
needed
face.
enhancement cores. That sucks. Mhm.
I guess I'm gonna stick with 72,000
You can turn those
legendary
into,
shards.
you can go to the moon and buy the something, what is that stuff? So you can turn that into glimmer later if you want to. That's the other thing you can do with it.
Punch me in the face.
Phantasmal fragments, at least so you got backup
Phantasmal
glimmer if you
fragment.
want it. That's the only other place you can really put them at this point. You could have
Fine,
backup glimmer, so you can go back to spinning them somewhere.
fine.
Mhm.
Teddy says it happens every few days. One will come up that
But
works. Usually take them half a day to change it.
Mm.
You might store up
let
some
me know.
glimmer. You might save up
I
some
shall
other. You got a few
protest
weeks.
this. How many cores do I have? That's a great question.
Yeah, what are you up to right
14.
now? Because if you were dumping that many weapons,
I have 1,423. 1,423 of these boys.
like I have 2,400 enhancement cores. I'm okay.
Mm.
Wow, you have more than me.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Yeah, but you know what? I
Mhm.
had 200 and something, 240,000 legendary shards last year. So I've been whittling these guys down.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right, there goes that. Punch me in the face. Thanks, Bungie.
So when it comes
Yeah.
to some of the changes, I'll kind of like skim through. One of the big ones is
Mhm.
so they rolled a set of spec mods, Dragonfly, Surrounded, and Rampage into the base functionality of those perks.
Yeah.
So those are not
Mhm.
things that you can pick now. And now they're doing that with the rest of the spec mods. Boss spec, Taken spec, Minor spec, Major spec,
Rest in
Adept
peace.
spec. And they've basically increased the base damage of almost universally, except for a few weapons that were overperforming, so they didn't. And they've retired the mods. Most of those
Mhm.
mods were about 7.77% or whatever they were.
Yeah.
Taken spec, I think, was 10. Adept big ones was just all of them. So
Yeah.
you don't have to mess with those mods anymore, which isn't
Mhm.
all bad if they're buffing the weapons to kind of give you a little bit of option. Because now when you go to pick your mod, you're not saying, hey, I may as well get more damage because why would I not? So now
Right.
you can do things like quick accessing if you want. Backup mag, I think, is going to be for a lot of people
Yeah, it's gonna be a big
for
one.
that one. Yeah, outside of those, backup mag's probably one of the biggest ones that you're going to see, which then
Mhm.
again turns around into something else. What should the proper magazine size be if you feel like backup
Right.
mag is the only way to go?
Mhm.
And that's just kind of where, you're always probably chasing that one. But that
Yeah.
is one of those things where you don't have to worry about boss taking spec, major, minor, champion, all of that chaos anymore. That's the nice thing I will say too. You don't have to worry
Mhm.
about on champions, do major mods or boss
Yep,
spec
remember that?
mods or this or that or the
Yeah, that's
other.
why Adept Big Ones was lit, though.
Yeah, I mean, that covered
Yeah.
everything, so that was always nice, but you don't have to worry about that now.
Right.
Um, they said we were already happy with the damage output of exotic primaries and trace rifles, so we only slightly reduced their damage bonus versus red bars. In most cases, this means their damage output is roughly unchanged for exotics against red borders. Reduced damage bonus versus minors from 40% to 30%, because I think they universally buffed most everything. But yeah, the fact that those mods are going away just gives you a little more freedom to choose something that isn't just the obvious more damage. It's what you always
Right.
want. So that
Right.
seems very simple.
Yeah.
So they go through like all the little percentages of everything. If you want to read that stuff, you can. Um,
Mhm.
Changed a couple quality of life things. If it is a burst item, there are 2 bursts, which are heavy bursts, so sidearms, hand cannons, pulse rifles. 3 burst is adaptive burst, sidearms, linears, adaptive pulse rifles, and then 4 bursts, dad rifles, my guy, go figure, and blast furnace and stuff. That's your pulse rifles.
Yeah.
Exotics. Trying to remember some of the big ones.
Mhm.
Let's
Actually, and you
see.
remember your dad rifle's 20%, bro. Pulses got really improved. People were complaining about using them as primaries, and looks like, yeah, they're the biggest beneficiary, 20% PvE
Yeah,
damage.
they're one of the big ones.
Mhm.
Trace rifles against majors, 20%, also there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, a couple big ones standouts. Let's see, increased damage versus minors. This stacks with the base damage. Sidearms, trace rifles, scout rifles, and bows, 20%. Lets your scout rifles in higher difficulty activities do a little bit more damage as they should.
Mhm.
Bows should one tap most of the little red borders or red bars, and when they don't, that's annoying. So hopefully that's just little stuff to probably make things feel about right as you look through.
Mhm.
Kind of seems like they're going in the right direction. Um, so exotics, I'm trying to remember. Necrochasm's getting an update.
Yes.
So increase the duration of the burn applied by the cursed all explosion by a second and a half.
Mhm.
And damaging 3 combatants in quick succession provides a period of increased damage, range, and assist. So if you just like spray and pray, you get a little boost.
Yeah.
Osteo did get a bit of a hit. Osteo got nerfed, so
Yeah.
now has a 4-second cooldown on the poison burst on kills. Poison burst from sustained damage doesn't change. So it's only if you're
Mhm.
getting kills from a lot of those that would spread to everybody, that's going to have a bit more of a cooldown. Will be less effective for just, melting the whole room.
Yeah.
Lament got hit, so they reduced the healing
Mhm.
effect. So that one's not quite as strong. Colony, that's going to be an
Yeah.
interesting one. So it
Very
now
interesting.
spawns additional insectoid robots on final blows. More robots up to 5
Hmm.
spawn from tougher combatants. Now, I don't know if I'm still going to ever use this thing for, say, like ad clearing or anything like that. It still seems like there's no way. No
Doof,
way I'm going to.
doof, doof, doof.
Yeah, it's like I'm not thinking that thing's still going to be like a PvE DPS god or anything like it's just
I will
not. So
say, in PvP, that joint's annoying.
yeah.
Like you get hit with Kali, you're mad at that person.
Oh, I know.
Now
You're just
they get
like,
kills and they get more.
what are you doing to me?
Yes.
Truth has fallen behind. So area of
Yeah.
effect damage is basically bigger since it doesn't have area of effect, but they
Mhm.
increased the total reserves by 3. And I know it has 3 in the chamber. I still don't know if that's going to be amazing, but see how it goes.
Yeah, how it goes.
Queenbreaker is a little stronger,
Mhm.
like ammo and reserve, like DPS. What was the other one? Ariana's Vow.
Yeah.
Breaking a matched shield or piercing a champion's barrier will cause the target to just straight up ignite, which is cool.
Mm.
Deterministic
Solar Surgeon.
Chaos is now intrinsic anti-barrier, and also they swapped the volatile and weaken, which actually makes sense because the volatile on
Mm.
medium targets, you can kind of get the volatile to happen more often, and then if you're
Wait a
shooting
minute.
something for a long time, the weaken will be the later addition.
Oh, this is that whack one they debuted at Lightfall.
Yep.
It's the whack void heavy
Yep.
machine gun. There was like weak enemies. I'm like, this is so garbage. Oh, this is that on. Okay,
Yep.
so now it's anti-champion by default.
Anti-barrier.
I mean, it's anti-barrier by default. Nice. Okay, and then they got so they switched it. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Got it. Got it. All right,
The
maybe we'll
volatile
see.
will be more frequent, and then
Right.
weaken if you're just DPSing something. The weaken will kick in, which
Mm.
makes more sense. That'll be
Yeah,
good.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
They messed with some perks. Chain reaction is too strong.
Yeah. We knew that was
The
coming.
special, it's about 15% smaller AoE and 20% less damage. I mean, little red border is probably going to die still, I would imagine. But,
Yeah.
you're shooting 2 out there and just like double wave framing. You're still probably
Mhm.
going to kill most of that stuff. Now, AoEs for heavy, same AoE, but 30% more damage on heavy wave frames.
Mhm.
So we have the Blue by prime example. I'm an idiot. And then also the, it's the stasis one. I think that's that Lightfall
Oh
one too.
yeah. That one from the Amuna.
Yeah. Osmosis and permeability, they don't
Travis
really.
having a good old time right now. I don't know why he's having a good old time, but he's
I'm
having a good
wondering
old
what
time.
he is cracking up
Yeah,
about.
nervous. We clearly said something or did something that was very
Yeah.
questionable.
No, it's unrelated.
Oh, something else.
My fiance is
Mm-hmm. Out of control.
Wedding planning stuff.
no, she's at a restaurant with her coworkers and she drank the base water at the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the water that the plant is in.
Yes. Oh.
She thought it was a glass of water.
Hey yo.
She just picked it up and was like, somebody was like, that's the water that the plant is growing in. She thought it was like a varnish or something. On top of it.
Man, damn.
That's very funny.
Damn, Thai girl. Damn.
Dummy.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of which, I was thinking about some stuff to do while you. Sorry for completely interrupting the show.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was thinking of some stuff we could do when you guys are in San Francisco just to have a laugh. And I was thinking you guys probably don't have driverless cars where you live, so we should
No.
we should take those around.
I'm actually interested in the AI.
I have the app. I order that instead of Uber. I order the driverless.
Oh, so you've
car.
done it before multiple times?
Oh yeah. It's just a normal thing here. So
wow, that I'm very curious. I'm actually.
You want to do
intrigued.
that?
I'm actually intrigued by that.
Hop in a driverless car and watch it drive us around the city. It's pretty funny.
It's
Probably a little
wild.
trippy, but
Have you ever taken that at night?
Yeah, dude. Literally, my neighborhood is mostly those cars. They just drive around the neighborhood.
You got Skynet running around.
I will tell you though, they're the most polite driver because I jog, as you guys know, around my neighborhood, and they're so other drivers. They're always getting too close to the crosswalk, or they stop a little too late for me to be comfortable. But the Waymos, dude, they chill. They're super alert drivers, really cautious at turns. Really appreciate that. So, yeah, I take them everywhere because it's so much cheaper than taking a Lyft because you don't have to pay for a human. You don't have to deal with body odors. I hate that. But
that's true.
Yeah, no driver smells. That's fair.
No driver, no conversation.
Yes,
for a while,
I agree.
For a while, I had my Lyft profile said I was deaf so that people wouldn't talk to me.
Oh my
when
God.
I got an Uber, when I got into the car. Yeah, you know what? I just don't like conversation. I'll do whatever it takes.
That is a little evil and genius at the same time.
Yeah. So anyway, now I don't have to do that because I just take driverless cars. But yeah, I'll make sure you guys get one when we're here.
Okay, salute.
Interesting. I mean, there's other little details in the article that you guys can read if you want to. I was just trying to kind of hit on some of the high stuff. Chill clip also for the slower charging fusion rifles outside of Riptide will be 2 shots to freeze instead of 3.
Yes, that's fair.
So if you got any of those, they're not going to be quite as useless.
Chilly chill.
Yep. So other things that happened this week, we got a preview of a couple exotic weapons.
Yeah.
First one. Now this is not a new guy. This is an old guy.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Kvastov.
Interesting.
Coming back to final shape. Obviously, auto rifle. Pretty sure it's kinetic. And it looks like the idea is it says every 7th shot ricochets. So it bounces, but when it bounces, it looks like it bounces between 1, 2, 3, 4.
They need a new keyword for what that gun does because I would not describe that as a ricochet.
I'm like
that's like a super ricochet.
Yeah.
Well, it's like tracking ricochet or something. It's doing a lot more than normal. So the ricochet bounced
Hmm.
between 4 different enemies and killed him. So maybe interesting for ad clear. It's kind of something. Chain shot or yeah, it's like goes off. I'm sure there's plenty of games that I've played where if you hit something, then whatever it is goes somewhere else and they have a good name for it.
Yeah.
I cannot think of that right now to save my life though, but I know other games have for sure had that functionality. So Kvostov's coming back. I don't know if I'm that excited about it. Have to see it in action.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like chain lightning, but it's just like chain bullet. It's kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy little whistle, the
Yeah.
little arrow thing goes around and goes to a couple guys. Now,
Hmm.
this one's interesting. We have a heavy trace rifle. It's called Microcosm.
Hmm.
I can't quite tell the damage type on it, but it does do massive bonus damage to shields. But I can't tell if it's causing. See, it looks like one where he's firing at the Hydra. It's like a ignite.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's gonna collect up like a damage type or
There's a rumor that it may be a prismatic
that would make
thing.
sense that it would kind of go
Yeah.
along with what you're
Because
using or
yeah, because you're a big arbalist guy, and then they're saying that being that it has that functionality with shield breaking, because it almost doesn't sound sexy by itself. Like by
right.
itself, it's just like,
And you're like, cool,
okay,
you
you
can
broke
break
shields.
shields. I'm like, for
Yeah,
a
okay,
heavy
so what?
weapon? Yeah, like what am I gonna
Yeah.
do with that? Because you've got
Thanks.
what's the arc one?
Um,
Or
as far
no,
as
is it arc? What's the one where you can kick it into high gear and it burns your super, but it does actually a lot of DPS? Oh, that's the ice one, isn't
oh,
it?
you talking about Aegis Scepter from
Yeah,
Stasis?
Agriceptor.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Aegis Scepter. So yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, that one, like you're like, okay, so I'm gonna burn my super, but I'm gonna do DPS like a crazy person. Like that
Mhm.
at least made this one, yeah, it's like they're not showing all the clips or all the perks right now
Yes.
because I think Prismatic
Yes.
would make sense because I don't even it's like a white thing and we're not gonna get a heavy stasis one right now. That would seem odd. So it does seem like it's because there's one where it does fire and then it just explodes. So I can't tell if it's just causing the damage to explode.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to kind of
There's a rumor that these may be kinetic. That may be kinetic, and that these are things that they're going to try to synergize with a prismatic subclass. That remember I believe when you do kinetic damage or something like that, you get more of the new secondary, what they call it, super, where you do your thing, whatever. I believe that all that stuff kind of contributes to it. So we'll see. But yeah, I think they're being very minimalist with the perks in the trailers for a reason, because by themselves they don't seem to be enough,
yeah.
so to speak. Yeah,
Feels like they're gonna have to kind of synergize
yeah,
paracausal weapons. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
well, Mr. Warlock, what do you think of your exotic? Your arcane needles cause a suspending detonation.
Got a little Titan envy right now. I think you guys are the clear winners of this exotic showcase. You guys put down your little barricade, you get your rockets. I mean, look, the needle thing. I like this strand needle melee overall. I think it's strong, but it's like, okay, yeah, you're suspended, but I'm like, I could use a suspend grenade for that. Like you know what I mean? Like it's a more pronounced suspension with the thing. But I need to see more of it. I need to see more of it. I mean, maybe it is effective, but right now I'm just not. I'm like, it's okay. I'm not like wowed. So I felt like you guys got the better deal here with the exotic. But how are you feeling about it? How the Titan delegation feeling about
The
that?
rockets?
Yeah.
It's in I mean, it's not
Uh oh.
I just can't quite decide
Yeah.
what it's always what you give up in the world of exotics.
Fair enough. Fair. I know where you're going now. I
So
know.
it depends on if I'm running arc, am I ever gonna not want to have Thunder Crash be a beast? For staying alive, Precious Scars right now is an absolute monster. It's not bad to have the extra. I mean, how often did you get your class ability up? I mean, they did make sure those things aren't quite as frequent as they used to be.
Right.
So I mean, hunters aren't dodging like crazy. Your barrier's a little bit slower because PvP issues, stuff like that. I don't know what
Hmm.
this is going to do for PvP, messing people up. I'm not sure if it's more PvE. It doesn't feel like PvE damage beast. It
Right.
doesn't for whatever
Okay.
reason. I can't. It's not striking me that way. Now, I may be missing something. If it's just a way to put a wall and then you can just, one-shot a champion with your barricade, that might be a different story if you can just get that much damage, but it feels like it wouldn't be that strong or it would be OP.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it.
Okay.
Arc aspects create bouncing explosives. I don't know if the hunters are going to be that excited about theirs either. And then there's also better devils in that trailer as well,
Yeah, I
which
did see that.
was a whole thing. So
Yeah.
Grand Overture with barricade and auto rockets. I mean, there's going to be potential
Okay.
for it, but again, like, would I use the barricade with auto rockets to do a little bit of DPS, or would I go do Thunder Crash, or have, I don't know. I don't know.
The strand one that
Yeah,
you
the
guys got.
strand
Yeah,
one
that
where you
one's
get
good.
like triple suspend waves going out,
Yeah,
and
that kind of cool.
it just kind of depends on what build it would go with, I guess, to see where it would fit. I think that's going to be kind of the big thing. I mean, if you
Mm-hmm.
do something like Void, it's a very defensive build. So maybe if you're using your Void shield barricade more frequently, maybe, and you have that set up to be alive more often, but
Mm-hmm.
then that thing now shoots, maybe it's a little offense to go with your defense.
I got you. I got you. I see where you're coming from. Everybody's good.
Sorry,
Silence on the set.
random wrong number is texting me and it was like the name I didn't quite know, but then I was like, no. And they're like,
Mhm.
so the text was last Friday at Ginny's birthday party. We had a great time talking and exchanging numbers. Aren't you Anna? I'm like, nope, wrong number.
That is a scam. No one
Yeah.
is that descriptive in their opening text message.
No, that was the second one. The first one was like, hey.
Oh.
So it was like that was like
Okay,
the third
got
text
it.
I got there. But either way, I'm like, no. That's why I was like, hey, do you remember me? I'm like, you got to remind me where you think I know you from. So, then they go into enhancements. So you're going to be able to. They talk about obviously if you've got weapons right now that have enhanceable perks, you're going to be able to enhance most weapons up to certain levels. So you can have like multiple columns, left column, right
Yes.
column. I mean, you can have a Luna's Howl that has 4 enhanced perks on it. So if you still farm in any of the onslaught weapons and you get some good ones, you can just max everything out eventually if you get it up there. I don't probably need to go through all of that in full minutia.
No,
Doesn't seem
it's
like
cool.
it. But if something is not craftable, the enhanceable version, especially like Master or Adept or Harrowed or all of those different drops you'd probably be getting if you've been doing Pantheon, those drops will all potentially be enhanceable. So they're bringing non-craftables up to be enhanced and therefore compete.
Mm-hmm.
Mementos, you can carry 3 now. Woohoo.
Yes.
They're reducing fragment costs in Final Shape. I'm sure that's probably more important for prismatic since there's like 20 of those things or something like. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fragments for prismatic.
Oh yeah.
And then of course they cover Rhulk and all of his fun stuff. 0 hours back. Have you guys run 0 hour?
Not yet. I'm planning on
Not
running
yet.
on it
Yeah,
soon.
it's on my
Yeah, I
list.
gotta.
It's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fun to go back. I did actually remember the Trevor maze. First time I went through, I was like, I think this is it. Managed not to die the
Mm-hmm.
first time. Didn't finish it the first run through because I was just going through solo test and everything. And then there's Legend, you're gonna want to group. There's the puzzle in there that they've got, the floors to run through, the little fire room section where you gotta be on the right panels of the floors. That stuff's still there. It's a fun mission to go through. If anybody hasn't experienced it before, it is a very cool mission. Absolutely. Glad to have them both back in the game. Outbreak perfected. Obviously, you're going to want to go through and run that a few times to
Yeah.
unlock all the perks. And I think Rapid Hit's going to be, I forget what the
What's the first one?
optimal, I forget, I haven't even done it on Legend yet, so I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sin said he finished Legend both times with 30 seconds left. I mean, it's,
All right, I got you, Sam.
and I don't know if he did that solo. He probably did that in a group. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
those running it solo right now, that's some very optimal running through that one.
Mhm.
I mean, I got the opening pretty reasonable. But yeah, there's a brig in the opening section when you go through and do like, you'll go through the first tunnel, you'll have the room, and then you get to the one where there's like the arc shanks, the little snipers up top, and the couple heavy
Yeah.
shanks. Well, there's also a brig in there.
Really?
Yeah, so now it's a
That's
smaller
decent.
brig, not a beast brig,
Not
but
the
it's
beast
still
one.
it's still a brig that you cannot
Mhm.
crit. That is my only annoyance, and I can't remember who tweeted about those. There's no way to really get good damage, so I mean that's the point where you got to bust a super to try and get them. So I mean I did heavy machine gun on everything to try and build up my super. switched over to Pyrogale, dumped Pyrogale into the brig, so then I could keep pushing on just for a solo run. That helped for time.
Mhm.
But yeah, the brigs are spongy. That's kind of the thing. Dragon's Breath and Celestial Nighthawk. Well, sure.
Yeah.
Titan build is going to be Pyrogale,
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah. For me, I
Dragon's Breath
usually
might honestly be a thing for the brigs, just because I can't think of many other things that are gonna
take
cook it that
to break
way.
it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, what I usually do against them in Onslaught is when I run surprisingly Geomags destroys them things, but it takes just constant. You got to constantly get to that crit to
Yeah,
unlock
you
that
gotta
crit from
unlock
the
the crit
damn
spot.
break. Yeah, so the concentrated. Yeah, but yeah, dragons. That's a good one.
Fire
Dragon's
Dragon's Breath and clear the field.
Yep,
Yeah, that's
clear the
smart.
field.
What
Yep.
are you using to clear the field? I know some people are using. I saw like I think Mana was running Risk Runner at a point, which is still
Mhm.
good because it's a lot of arc in there, and you've got the resistance.
Mhm.
I was like, haven't seen that weapon come out in a while, so it's funny
Mhm.
to see that type of stuff get pulled out of the vault. It's fun though. Yeah, but Legend will definitely give you a run for your money.
Mhm. Nice.
They'd put like a whole comic in here, so if you want to read through that,
Yeah, I
obviously I'm
saw
not
that.
going to read a comic, so you want to go check that one out. It's in there.
Why not? This is
I'm not.
bullshit.
I'm not going to read it on stream. If you want to
I
go,
thought we were serious about Destiny, but I guess we're
We out here
casual.
playing around.
yeah, apparently
Yeah.
we're amateurs.
Too funny.
But yeah,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
next week we will get the final Pantheon with Nezzy
Yeah.
and Riven. That's
Yeah.
gonna be the hard one because I think up
Yeah.
to this week,
I'm
I
scared
was,
for
see- I
this
was
week.
seeing a little. This one's gonna be an interesting. I'm
Yeah, I'm scared
curious.
of this one,
I'm
man. I'm
curious to
so
hear
jealous
about
with you.
your run.
I'm worried about the Rhulk. And you didn't even mention anything about the Tormentors. So y'all just wiped them Tormentors out in the first part?
So yeah, on the stairs.
Yeah.
Can't think if it's. I think it's 2 tormentors. One at kind of your first dunk in between moment, and then kind of one right before the end before you go up for DPS. They're not bad. They really weren't.
Mhm.
It was just kind of
Okay.
when they're out, like everybody's kind of clearing ads. So I think just when they pop up, people tended to focus them. I mean, I had what was I using? Because I had Cloud Strike on and then Grenade Launcher. So I was just using a primary scout rifle. It was probably like a hung jury with like kinetic trimmers or something ridiculous. And I
Mhm.
was just kind of shooting them some, but I think just everybody team shotted them pretty quick. So I don't know if others were focusing them down way quicker, but they
Mhm.
weren't bad. I mean, they were not like an
Okay.
issue for us for that one. The biggest
Mhm.
issue is the shade, just depending on placement of when you're
Yeah.
jumping around. Because if you're running from Rhulk, charging, and then you're kind of going across, and the shade's slowly
Mhm.
walking
He right
over,
there.
or
Oh,
if you're focused on Rhulk and you're like, "Where's the shade? He's behind me, isn't he?" It's one of those moments.
Jesus. Jesus.
Um,
And you gotta focus on the DPS and move
and then yeah,
around.
DPS is it just makes the arena you really can't do so much standing around. It is a lot
Yep.
of movement based. That's why it's having Divinity, having the crit spot, Cloud Strike is just do as many shots as I can get off when that clip is
Mm,
empty. I'll switch over, and then kind of once he dashes, then I will dump my
yeah.
cascade point kind of thing. So it's
And I'm assuming you'll run no Warlock Wells because of the chaos.
they would drop a couple.
Okay.
Probably partially for ads is a little bit of a place to stand just to kind of start.
Yeah.
We did Thunder Crashes for 1 or 2 of us. I think Cactus and I
Mhm.
both ended up running that.
Mhm.
Those help. Golden Gun probably popped in there. So I mean, some DPS, some Wells, but the Wells were not doing a ton, and I don't think
Mm.
they were really helping. So if you went more DPS, you probably
That's what I
could be
was
more
thinking.
efficient. I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I might go mags and thinking there because it's like, yes, citizens
I
that I
don't know if you
ran.
want to do Geomags and hang that long though in one spot. The
I
only
feel you.
thing you would want to either be mobile with like, I mean, I would think maybe like solar, you could stay in
Mhm.
the air and be mobile. Nova Bomb, just dump it and fire. Like Nova Bomb might help you a little bit to be able to just go.
I just
Trying to
want
think
that
what you're.
solar. I mean, excuse me. I want that arc buff, that 25%. I'm trying to be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
optimal. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing. But I see what you said because yeah, you got to be there. And this guy's chasing you and moving around.
Yeah, I mean, and
I'm
that,
just curious. I just want
yeah.
to run it just to see. That's right. Then if it fails, I'll go back to
I
status
just feel
quo.
like Geomags do actually last a long time, and I don't know if Geomag is going to be in
I
comparison
see what you're
to
saying.
dumping Cloud Strike and like a grenade launcher in that same amount of time. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's going
I
to
mean in
add up.
terms of like in conjunction with like a burst super, but somebody made a good point. Zach, Grand Lock Super is really cool too. Like a burst super for a lock.
Yeah,
to get
something
in there.
you just want like a one-off.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm just gonna be useless as a well lock is in that encounter. The beauty of Rhulk encounter is you cannot stay in a well with him
Yeah, no,
the way he's
not
constructed.
gonna.
He's moving
Yeah,
around. It's
but I
useless.
mean,
You're
you
gonna
could
have
pop
to
it and
move.
still get like your initial kind of
True,
thing.
true, true,
So
true,
I
true.
mean, depending on where you're at, you could do a couple view spread around, like have two. Somebody else is probably picking up orbs. Like I was picking up your
Yeah,
orbs for
that's a good
explosive
point.
light for me. Like that was there were benefits.
That's a good point. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll get up in there and I gotta get a 0 hour popping just to get that and see I want to see how the
Is
new
it
outbreak
different, by the way, the weapon?
What?
yeah, apparently it's craftable with new perks, outbreak perfected.
Yeah.
Right?
Trying to remember what the perks. I don't know if it's gonna.
I know rapid hit and some other thing. Curious how that's gonna be in there in the new sandbox, especially when the pulse is gonna be crazy now. With the next update. Mm-mm-mm.
So rapid hit, rewind rounds, head seeker, and
Ooh,
outlaw.
rewind?
Oh,
Ooh, I like that. I
Rewind
might,
would be good. I
yeah,
mean,
I might
rapid
think
hit's
of it.
still good too, but rewind is
Mhm.
also for that longer.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it could shoot forever with
And I'm
rewind.
wondering with the hits if the little parasites count, so you get even long. I'll be kind of curious how that plays. So I mean that rewind, like head seeker, PvP, outlaw, not
Hmm.
really that exciting for me. But I would say
Right.
for having the option of that longer DPS, either rapid hit for just a quick reload back in it, but rewind
Hmm.
has kind of the
Yeah.
potential to just unload.
Yep. Get them Siva nanites popping.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, what's up?
cool.
Yeah, Teddy's doing rapid PvP, rewind
rewind and
PvE. My
PvE. Yep.
man. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's gonna be sick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Nice.
I feel like that's kind of what we got for the time being. Somehow
Yeah, look. Yeah,
I went through that a little. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to go through and like bore the minutia of this
yeah.
percent here, this percent here.
It's a
This like,
lot. Yeah, it's
you
a
don't want to
lot.
see all the minutia. There are
Yeah.
other videos, or just read.
Yeah. The main
Appreciate it.
thing is
I
yeah,
don't want
appreciate
to
it.
see that minutia, I
Yeah, it
must
was a
say.
lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, the main thing is some, offenders we knew was coming, and they're making some archetype buffs here and there. But yeah, this is a lot. Last thing I'll say is like they made a lot of quality of life changes. I felt for getting people in for final shape and stuff like that. Overall, so I felt like a lot of entry level stuff with the specs. Because think about it, so many new people come in that don't have a taken spec mod and the boss spec. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. Like they're trying to like synergize and make that entry.
Yeah, I mean, it's
All part of
also
it.
like it makes it the obvious choice. So now you have a little more flexibility. Mag does feel like the default. Just
Yeah,
more
no,
bullets to
absolutely.
shoot is probably where a lot of people are going to go. Grenade launchers with extended mag, kind of like
Hmm.
that'll give you at least maybe one more to go on top of that one. Some will make a little less sense. I mean, rocket launcher, quick access link, probably for just the handling part of it, because you're not going to
Yeah.
get too much in the way of damage or anything. And you don't need stability or counterbalance or anything with a rocket launcher. Those kind of moments are a thing.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
then
had
the
the fun moment
waves.
too, where it was I got a mountaintop, and I
Yeah.
think it was I can't remember if it was a shiny one or not. And
Hmm.
oh no, I did. I got a mountaintop. I got it with ambitious and rampage, lead for gold and Vorpal. So not amazing because I don't love ambitious on there.
Hmm.
Auto loading is kind
Really?
of.
You prefer
I
having
think
the
auto loading's better just for how that one's used, because it is one where you can shoot, reload, and like kind of do other
Mhm.
stuff, and then always just bring it back out for the one. It's not one where the envious or ambitious. I feel you'll get the two, but then you'll have
Then what? Yeah,
yeah,
I
then
got
what?
you. I got you. I got you. And then for
Um,
DPSs and stuff like that,
yeah.
with switching and stuff, I got you.
But I got the masterwork blast radius, which on mountaintop actually is making
It's
it
not
worse.
worse. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I was
Because you
like,
want the implosion.
my shiny is
Yeah,
shitty. I get
I
a
feel
shitty
you. I
shiny.
feel you. Yeah,
Mm.
Pretty shiny.
I got a bunch of those too.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Most of my I don't know if I've kept one shiny.
Yep.
Most of the ones that I've seen that I can remember
Terrible.
that are not from the quests
Yep.
or whatever, junk. Absolute junk
Garbage.
status.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah,
Same
I
thing
switched
with me
over
and
to
my Pokemon shinies, bro. Every time I get a shiny in Pokemon, it's got the worst CP stats, dude. It's terrible. What?
hilarious.
Just me?
Hilarious.
Just me
Oh
playing
man.
Pokemon?
Auto
See Flavor.
reconstruct and ambitious Vorpal. Both.
Yeah, I'm a huge recombination fan on that on Mountaintop.
Yeah. Oh,
Huge,
it's got
huge that
recon.
burst. Yep. Oh, bro,
That's the one I
that's the
want. Then.
play.
Yeah. See, I just
That's
haven't
the
got that many
play,
drops on it yet.
bro.
But
I
yeah.
got it. Auto. I got the roll you want. Auto and recon.
Nice.
Yeah, my regular rolls are good. I just buy shitty shinies.
Yeah.
All of them are garbage. But as
Yep.
far as the regular ones, yeah, I've been good because you just build that thing up, and I actually like running that with Parasite because it's like a whole burst damage kind of a build. Kill with the primary, everything gets built up.
Yep.
Let off one recombination 20 stack mountaintop, boom. Let off a Parasite, whatever. I got an appreciation for that joke.
Yeah.
And
I need
rest
to
in peace
grind.
to
I need to
the
grind more Onslaught. I just
I gotta get back in there.
have not been as compelled to just grind that one out as much.
No, I
It's
feel
just
you.
Casual.
yeah. I know.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But yeah, I think next
No,
week.
Onslaught is boring. Hate to say it, guys. Pretty boring.
Next week, what?
Next week's gonna be the tough one. Next week is gonna be the because I
Mhm.
think some people were even struggling a little bit with Rhulk and
I'm hearing
planets and
stories.
stuff. I was watching streams and it
Mhm.
was like, hey, they're still on this encounter kind of thing. So it's not going quite as smooth. Not
Yeah.
the Salta Grappo 30-minute run kind of thing. So it's gonna
Yeah.
take a
Yeah.
little longer. And then next week will be full test.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know of too much else, but this has actually been a shorter
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, a little light week. Not technically, but yeah, light overall.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
plenty of stuff I
extremely short
want
for
to
me.
play. Like I want to go play Hades, but I haven't started that because
Mhm.
I want to just play a lot of it. But in
Yeah.
between other things, I'm like kind of getting. I'm like 2/3. I'm almost done with like Act 3 of V Rising.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like
They fixed a
that's
major thing in Hades today that made it a lot better.
really. I saw patch
Yeah.
1.1 dropped. I wasn't sure
Mm.
what that was.
Well, there was this like this thing where you could only take one like resource harvesting piece of equipment with you on each run. So if you had the pickaxe, you could mine resources, and if you had the fishing rod, you could fish. And there's like 6 of those, and you had to pick one. And then every run, you would not be able to fish if you didn't have the fishing pole with you on that
Oh.
run, etc. It was super annoying. And now they're like, all right, you can bring all of them with you, but the one that you pick will be like increased chances of showing up, and so you'll get more of that resources. So yeah, it's like it makes more sense because that was like really annoying. That was the first thing I was like, "What? Why did they make it this way?" So it's a
Yeah,
cool
I mean
change.
that's part of early access. Like, I mean, I know
Mhm.
Hades is going to be fantastic. I've only heard awesome things
Mhm.
about it, so that'll be
It's truly great.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's no, and I've heard it's almost if not bigger than Hades 1 with the content that I had already in early access.
Mm.
That one's crazy. I know No
Yeah.
Rest for the Wicked is working on some
Oh
updates
yeah.
for kind of like respecs in there.
Mhm.
Um,
That game's cool.
Yeah, that
yeah,
game's
that
that's dope.
one being as I've heard I've heard a couple times when I was playing a little more.
Mhm.
Like most of what we're seeing is kind of like Act 1, and then they're kind of looking for very long-term support for the game. So I feel like that game is going to be a whole massive journey by the time they're done with it. I'm really excited to
Makes
see what they do with
sense.
that
Yeah.
one.
Speaking of excited, I can now talk about what I'm
Hey,
playing.
Do it, yeah.
Yes, a shout out to Ninja Theory team over there in the UK. But yeah, I'm actually playing Hellblade 2. I can now talk about it, and we'll have the embargo lifted on Tuesday, and then I can talk about it in further in my impressions. But yeah, I'm actually playing it right now. So salute to the good friends over
Sweet.
there in Xbox.
Jelly,
Yeah, man.
not playing it. That sounds
you,
fun.
you look like that gif the kid. He's like, happy for you, Craig.
Happy for you. That's
Right?
good.
Yes, I was.
Good for you, bro. Yeah. I fucking I love
I
that.
love that one. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Kid is
that's such a
so
good
upset.
image. Such a
Such
good
a good
reaction
one.
image.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's about it. So I'll be getting back to that amongst other things. Trav, how many 16,000 reviews and things you do? How many studios you traveling to now?
Well, I was supposed to be at one this week, but that didn't
Mhm.
happen. Destin. Yeah. No, I actually I've got some big projects coming up, but reviews are really slow this month, which is why we're reviewing old games.
Mhm.
So that's been really cool.
Mhm.
And then Yeah, I can't talk about any of the upcoming stuff, but I think reviews are going to start picking up again this next month. And so for now, I'm just using the extra time to plan my wedding, catch up on some Destiny, and hopefully lose some weight. I don't know.
Yeah,
What are we
all
doing?
right.
Gotta get
Bringing it
swole
down.
before my wedding. Got
Bring
to get that
it
6
down.
pack. So you got to do that. What? You gotta have that, bro.
Sir?
Yeah, for sure.
Listen here, sir.
Ebontis is muted, which is perfect for this moment.
Which is perfect for this moment.
He
Yeah, he
can't
couldn't
stop
get
me,
in.
bro.
Oh no, you're about
He's
to get
speechless.
removed from the podcast. Yeah.
Again.
Again.
Hey, I want you guys to
It'd
know.
be great if you could choose to not say those kind of words. Just throwing it out there. What's up, Alex? How you doing, bud?
Oh, what's up, man? Yeah,
By the
man.
way, Teddy
Oh,
offered
he's
to
pulling
be
up.
on the show,
Yeah?
alternating weeks with me if you guys want him.
Alternating weeks.
Just pretend like it's just me.
Mhm.
Just nobody will notice.
Tag another guy.
Tag him in.
Messy.
I'm just saying, there are some things that do not need to be said on a video game podcast.
Some things that absolutely need to be said. And I say them all.
Hilarious.
Like that really wasn't one of them, but that's fine. Anywho,
It's just like your opinion, man.
Yes, it is my opinion. But as I'm the one hitting stream, I'm hitting the go live button. My opinion has a bit of weight here.
I don't know about all that.
Jelly much Ebontis. Oh yeah, they killing you with deceit jokes. Wide look. Yeah, they going extra. Your awesome one is on it.
Well, you guys have been a fantastic audience. My co-hosts have been great. And you guys will see us here next week. Now, next week is 23rd, then we have the 30th. So we got 2 more. I don't know if we will do a show during Final Shape week, mostly because that's day before raid, prepping, all that stuff.
Mode,
just gremlin mode.
What if we just did like a
travel.
30-minute one? What if we just we're like 30 minutes?
5 minutes. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Cool.
Hey guys,
all right. See you guys. All right. Great. Bye.
That format works for Fire Team chat. We get in and get out pretty quick, and it's a lot more manageable every week if you just
3 geeks
say,
with
hey,
the $10 super chat and the reminder. Good luck to my chair. Good luck to my chair.
3 geeks. You just earned my lifetime admiration, bro. That is the coolest comment.
Good luck, Fern.
Fern is doing the Lord's work.
Dude, Fern
how we knew thee.
Yes.
Fern is both crushing it and being crushed. It's a tough tightrope to walk, but he's doing it, man.
That is quite the razor's edge right there, I would say.
Really
Yeah.
Good on him, man.
Tell you, man. Not all heroes wear capes.
I don't know if I'm
know-
gonna.
you know I
I
like
might
you,
actually have to
right?
go back and mute the podcast for the little bit there. I got to go back and I have
Wait,
to
really?
listen to it again.
Could
Why?
go back do
Why are
some
you
editing.
muting? That's its official term, bro. I'm just talking about a part of the body.
Anyway, all right, guys, thank you very much. Episode number 296. We are very close to 300, by the way.
Wow,
So
holy wow.
during June, whenever live shows happen, somewhere in there, we will have 300. So you guys have been here for one or most all of them. Thank you for however long you've been listening. Go follow these gentlemen. Listen to Defining Duke. Listen to all of Travis's reviews. Go also to the website and hit refresh a few times for some good clicks. And check out my coverage here, my streams, since I'm finally getting back to healthy as well. But overall, you guys have been fantastic, keeping me on my toes as always. And everyone, pour one out for my chair because next week, apparently, I'm going to need a new one. Thanks, everybody. And it has been
The last
word.
Last word. The last chair. That was good. Oh man, shout out to Hayward.